Hello my darlings, my name is Silvadorkable, I'm your friendly monster waifu. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hokko Life. I want to thank the developers for granting me a key so I can show it to you. You'll notice this video isn't quite the usual formula I use. That's because Hokko Life, like most of its kind, is on a slow boil. In the first few hours of gameplay, you'll be introduced to the town and its select few residents, gameplay mechanics, and led around on hand-holding missions to get you established with the game. At first, you may be surprised at how small the world feels, but it unfolds as you play, so you'll always have something to look forward to as you progress. As soon as you begin playing, you may get a strong Animal Crossing vibe. I know I did, and as a fan of Animal Crossing, I really didn't mind that. One thing that does differ, though, is the time gameplay. While Animal Crossing is played in real time, meaning if you log in at noon on Saturday, it's really noon on Saturday in the game. You can do your daily errands, but once you're done, you pretty much just have to wait. More fossils will spawn tomorrow. Your house will be upgraded tomorrow. Unless, of course, you participate in the dreaded time travel, but I'm not going to get into that. Let's just say that I'm not a patient person, and I haven't picked up my Animal Crossing game in weeks because of it. Time in Hokko Life doesn't work the same. While I don't know exactly how long in real time it takes for a day to pass in the game, it does feel like they give you a generous amount of time for the day. You can also choose to sleep for 2 hours, 6 hours, or even until the next morning in case you've already done all your daily errands or need to wait until a certain time. This makes you feel like you're in much more control, as certain bugs and fish only spawn at certain times of the day, and instead of waiting around, you can take a nap. Like in most games of this genre, the year is separated into 4 seasons of 30 days each, beginning on the 1st of spring when you arrive. At the time of this review, I've clocked in a little bit over 7 hours of gameplay, and I just now reached the 1st of summer. I have, however, unlocked some additional areas and got a feel for the world. In order to progress through the game, you need to make use of the crafting mechanics that make the game so unique. While Animal Crossing allows players to customize select aspects of items, such as fabric patterns or custom graphics over clothing, Hokko Life took this concept and really made something out of it. It is by far the single most outstanding aspect of the game. You begin small, with being able to craft materials such as wooden planks, but eventually you unlock the drafting table, where you can design entire pieces of furniture from the ground up. By buying additional piece collections, you can create items using a wide array of materials, paint colors, shapes, and even paintbrushes. You'll need to perform the dreaded quests in order to really expand on what you can build. And while some of the character fetch quests weren't difficult, such as bringing 5 buckets of black paint or building a stone chair for someone, some were impossible to complete. In one instance, I was asked to bring 5 cod, however, cod were not in season, so I had to pass. Days later, when I asked if they needed anything, Mia still wanted 5 cod, so my only option is to accept the quest and wait for the time to run out. I imagine this is probably just something that'll be fixed in a patch. When you complete enough quests, you'll be able to unlock blueprints for crucial items like bridges and stairs, so you can access additional areas of the map. And eventually, you'll unlock the ability to access a computer in the shop, where you can view other players' creations and share your own. You may notice that my town is riddled with weeds. That's because at the time of recording, there is a bug where I cannot pull any weeds despite the game prompting me to. Well, I am the type of person to torment my villagers, and the idea of psychological torture by forcing them into weed-ridden squalor isn't something I'm against. It is a bit frustrating when the prompt blocks me performing other tasks, such as digging. When it comes to making income, you'll have to start by ravaging the landscape and selling whatever you can. 2 seashells spawn each day at the beach, and you can pluck petals from the flower bushes every few days until you can save up to buy an axe and a pickaxe, or you can deforest the land. Seeds drop each time you chop down a tree, so you'll be able to craft the shovel and plant more to chop down later. Eventually you'll be able to move on from raping the flora to poaching the fauna. While you do end up with a recipe for a fishing pole, and the friendly local fishermen will occasionally give you rewards for discovering new fish or breaking current size records, I find the fishing minigame tiresome and time-consuming, especially when you consider the beginning fish barely sell for any money. Take my advice and save up for a bug net first thing. Not only is catching butterflies exceptionally fast, you can see the type of bug before you catch it, and you'll soon memorize what ones are worth the most because no 2 bugs really look similar in this game. Within an afternoon, I can easily make a few hundred coin. Villagers will stop by the inn, or restaurant? Sushi bar? I'm not entirely sure what it is, honestly, but they stop in. In fact, I noticed the owner never leaves the counter, even at 2 o'clock in the morning when I stopped by. It's a bit creepy. If you happen to drop in during lunch or dinner time, you run a chance of meeting someone new, and you can convince them to move into town. Don't be fooled, though. The house comes out of your pocket. You have to gather the resources and pay 400 coins to have it built. However, you also get to choose where it's built, so I shoved all my villagers' houses claustrophobically close to one another. It takes a few days for them to complete construction, at which point you need to furnish it with a light and a bed before assigning someone to live there. I did notice one fun bug. You can essentially steal from anyone in this game. Since the game is built around customization, you can rearrange furniture at will, even in other villagers' houses, and there's nothing stopping you from pocketing everything in their house. I honestly didn't mind this, and I don't really consider it a bug. I'm their ruler, and whatever I want, I take. Now, the game isn't without its bugs. Since this is early access, you may occasionally run into small glitches or issues. I did encounter one where despite catching a fish, the reeling sound was still playing. Forever. No matter what area I went to, day after day, until I restarted the game. I can't say I'm entirely fond of the art style. The bunnies are cute, but some animals, particularly the giraffe, look a bit too uncanny valley for me, and it weirds me out. The shaders used make them glow at night, and while it's useful for spotting bugs in the dark, it makes the animals look like they're ghosts, or irradiated. The catalog of fish and bugs is limited, which is to be expected for an early access game. But I do wish they'd include additional information, like how much each of them sell for in the shop, or what seasons they're available. Compared to Animal Crossing, a game which has had 2 decades to perfect itself, the catalog of creatures is tiny. This game is obviously a project with a lot of love put into it, though. And while it may not be as expansive as its competition, it's not a bad game. If you like Animal Crossing but don't have a Nintendo, and you can get this game at a discount or don't mind waiting until it's had a bit longer to expand from early access, I'd suggest it. It's the kind of game you can lose yourself in the relaxing music and just sit back and enjoy at your leisure. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye, my darlings. Mwah.